If you're planning a laundry reno, then here are 4 easy DIY steps to make it really simple and easy for you.
So we've decided to renovate the laundry. It's probably about 35 years old, time for an update. And there's 4 simple things that we've come up with as we've started to brainstorm that we need to make sure we can have this happen smoothly, efficiently, and of course in a cost-efficient manner. So first of all, we need to figure out what our wants are and also what our needs are, because I'm sure we probably want, I don't know, everything granite and beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
But really, is that what we need?
No.
We need to then measure it up, we need to draw it out, and then we've got a great online planner that we're going to link to show you how to make this happen so you can actually see it and what it's going to be like. So the first thing that you've got to really make sure you've got nailed down is your needs and wants, because we've all got plenty of wants, but when we want to come in on budget and on time, it's all about the needs. So first of all, what do we need for our reno?
Well, we need space for a laundry washer and dryer. Mm-hmm. We need a sink. Mm-hmm. We need a tall cupboard for an ironing board and mops. And we need storage.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Nice and easy. All right, I'm going to give a free rein on wants.
Wants? I want stone top. Mm-hmm. I want a tile backsplash. I want a new tile floor. I want a place to hang clothes if I want to hang something to dry in there.
Mm-hmm. Cool, that's enough. So when you're doing this, jot them all down, make a list, because you've got to prioritise. Because some things are going to be easy to do, others not so much. So let's go and have a look at the laundry now, check out our space. Next step is to measure, and then we're going to see if we can fit all these things in there, and then we'll start to load it. Next step, we'll draw it down so we get a bit of a feel for it, then we'll load it into some software so we can get, first of all, a costing, mm-hmm. and also then what it's going to look like in 3D.
Okay, this is the laundry. Prepare yourselves. Ta-da! The first thing you will probably notice is there's this awkward space right here, and that's because we removed our water heater. It's now outside. So we now have space, and that's the main reason we want to do the laundry reno. So we already have a sink here, and that will stay in the same spot mainly for plumbing, so we don't have to redo the plumbing. Then there's more plumbing here, which we actually will move, I think, a bit lower, hopefully, because I don't like it up there. But I'm thinking sink, washer, dryer, and cupboard. And then probably overhead cupboards as well. Things we've got to think about though, overhead cupboards, and then we've got a window. So we probably can't have overhead cupboards that go to the wall because of this window here. So that's something to take into consideration as well. Another thing that we've noticed in looking at the laundry when we're thinking about this reno is this external door actually has a fair bit of damage to the outside wood frame. So when we're thinking about budgeting and the renovation, we're actually probably going to have to take this out and redo it. So that's something to take into consideration for cost. It will probably mean a new door frame, new door, and we'll replace this one as well, I think.
So next step is to get your measurements. You want pretty much height, width, and length of the entire space, and then you want to make sure you've got the more select measurements of things like doors to walls, so you know where you're going to be able to fit your cabinets and how far your appliances come out. Now, one of those things you've got to check is these dimensions are all slightly different. So particularly when you're doing renovations, not everything was built perfectly. So it is a good idea to take measurements of length at both sides. These doors are actually slightly different sizes. Your internal, external doors are slightly different. So it's definitely worth taking all the measurements to really make sure you know what you're going to be working with when you start pulling things apart. So the next step is going to be drawing out almost like a bit of a mud map of what your laundry is with its sizing and dimensions, and then we're going to put in the detail of where everything fits. Now we've done a few renovations to this place. I'll put a link in the card above to the kitchen renovation we did, and this is the behind the scenes sort of drawing that Jess was doing regarding that. So you can see as we're looking at this one, she started with a sort of 2D map where she's looking at, all right, where does everything fit? What are all the measurements? What does she want to do there? And then she's also actually drawn out a bit of a 3-dimensional idea. It's not obviously a architectural drawing, but it does give you a feel for what things are going to look like, and then you can start to place things in the space more accurately.
That's one of the first laundry drawings that I mocked up, but that's when we still had the water heater in. So I don't know, I thought now we can change that because we don't even have to account for the water heater.
Cool, so we've got our measurements all down.
So here we go. Floor plan, we've got wall length, width, and then the height is 2700. We know that. Oh, sorry, 2600. Floor to ceiling. And then we've got the doors, a 935 on that side, and this side is 850. And then we have a window there as well.
So once you've got your measurements down, next step is going to be going into a great app called the Kaboodle Planner. So let's have a look at that now. All right, now Jess found this awesome app that's free to use by Kaboodle that you can use to build out the laundry digitally, and you can see then like a proper 3D image. And it's really great. We found when we were measuring out the pages, when we were measuring it on paper, we could actually see what products are going to fit in that exact space. So Jess is going to run us through that, and we'll have a look at how it looks.
So it's Kaboodle Planner login. So it's a 3D planner. And then once you get into this, you will have to set up an account. And then once you've got an account, you can scroll right down through to here, design in 3D, open planner, and then you can start designing your room. Okay, so you're gonna enter in your room dimensions, 2700. And it's created my floor plan. Once you've got that, the first thing that I like to do is put in all the things that you know are there. So that's your doors, windows, any obstacles that you might have in your room, like pylons or things that are in the way there. So let's add those in. We've got an internal door, and that's that one. And we've got an external door, which is that one. So let me put them to the right size, 850. And it goes down here. It also swings a different way. So if I edit that, the internal door, 935. We're going to place that here. Butts right up to the wall there. And then the other thing we have is a window here on this wall. So let's add a window and put it over there. Okay, so there's our room. And so now the room layout is what we've got our space to work with. Now we can start adding things that we want to add to our design. So there it is in 3D. Now you can look at it in 2D, so you can start adding things. The things I want to add first are the things I definitely know we're going to put in there. So that's the sink and that tall cupboard. So let's do the sink first. It's in appliances. We've got a sink cabinet. And I want a big one. I think a 600. We've got a 600 at the moment, so we might as well add another 600. That's going to go here under the window. And then in the other corner, we're going to do that tall pantry cupboard. And it doesn't need to be very big because we only need like an ironing board and a couple of mops and things in there. So let's chuck in one of those. Great, and it's already put in the corner there. Now, we've got this space, 1,750 mils. We need to put a washer and dryer and then whatever cabinetry we can. So let's chuck in the washer and dryer. Laundry.
This is good future-proofing. Even if you're doing a reno for the here and the now, think about what you might need into the future. Because if you put cabinets in there, it's obviously going to be a much bigger job to put a dryer in if you don't have one already. So even though we don't actually have a dryer right now, it is on that sort of list of, hey, it'd be nice to have one. Not that we have one now, but what happens if we were to resell? What happens if we were to put one in later? Well, let's future-proof that and make the space for it.
Now, we've got space, we've got 530 mil for a cupboard. So if you go to cabinets, you will see that the options that you have for a base cabinet, we don't want drawers. You've got 150, 200, 300, 400, 450, 600, and then an 800 and a 900. Now, obviously, if you're going through a custom place, you could custom fit it so it fits snug and perfectly in there. With Kaboodle, you only have those certain options to go with. So we're gonna have to go with a 450 base cabinet in that space. So that's everything along the base there. Now we do have that slight gap. So what is that? We've got an 80 mil gap.
And that might even allow a little bit of space between the dryer and the sink.
Yeah, if we need to move them over.
Yeah, so not bad to have a bit of wiggle room. And they often do talk about, because these rooms aren't always exactly square, just have a bit of play to put some bits and pieces in between if we really need to.
You will see too, they have filler panels. So you've got those there as well, and they can be customizable as well. So that might be something that we might need to purchase. So pantry and filler panel, there you go, to fill that space, which is a easy solution. So that's the base.
Cool, what does that look like?
Oh, let's go 3D.
Okay, we're starting to get a feel for at least the space. Fits quite nicely.
Yeah, I think it looks good. The next thing though, I want to put in some overhead. So let's chuck that in and see what that looks like. Let's go cabinets. These are wall cabinets. There's lots of different types and styles that you could do. I think we're just gonna go these ones, the wall cabinets. Now I kind of want them to match what's below. So we've got, what, a 650? 600s for the washer dryer space. And then we've got that 451. So we will do a 450 wall cabinet and then a, what was it, a 650 or 600?
600.
600 wall cabinet and a 600 wall cabinet. And hopefully that, perfect, there we go. So it matches above what's below. Awesome. That is the start of the basics of what it looks like. The next thing though we can change and have a look at is doors. What kind of doors do we want? Well, we've got in our kitchen, we've got Alpine. So it'd be nice if we keep that through. Alpine in macaroon. So let's do that. And you can add all these things here as well. So different types of handles. I think we'll just stick with silver for a bit. But all this is gonna calculate for you automatically as well, because this is all stuff from the Bunnings range. So it keeps adding, calculating everything. Your tap, we'll just go something like that. Nice and simple for now. Sink, just want a big square sink. So let's have a look at that for a minute. Yeah, cool. I think that looks great.
Yeah, and I think just being wary, the lighting in this rendering program probably does make things look a little bit different to what they truly are.
Yeah.
Because we've got at the moment like a one single light that's sort of projecting on those top cabinets, making them look white, but in reality all the cabinetry is white.
We can even add lighting in here though, and that will help brighten that up. So we'd probably just do some recessed LEDs, wouldn't we? So we just add them in, and even already that brightens that room up a lot more. If you look at 2D view, you can even move them to where you want. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, so that's brightened that up already. That's cool. Another thing that you can do with this is you can even add different styles and things like tiles or a different floor style. So I know that we probably would go a tile for the floor, like just a simple, I don't know, white tile maybe. And then the bench top, you can change the looks of that. So a stone look one, might go like a terrazzo style stone. Add that all in. You can even do a paint color on the walls if you want to. So here we go, wall paint. Let's just do a light greenish to match the rest of the house. So there, that's something that, I don't know, looks fairly close to what we might build. One thing I would think about doing though is maybe we move these up so that height, if I can. So that's a nice clean line across the top there. And that might even give room for a hanging space, like a rod underneath to hang things on if we wanted to as well.
Yeah, and what about the, we can see the costing there at the top of the screen just coming in under 4.
Yep.
So this gives you then a budget now to look at, all right, what does it actually need to cost for these raw materials to get them in? And it gives you an item list as well, so you can see where the cost is coming from. And like, considering you get a lot there, it's quite good value, isn't it?
Yeah. Something though that I think we would probably do is not do the bench top through this, through Bunnings. And there's a local stone guy and we'd probably get him in to do the bench top in there as well. So take that cost, what is that? Yeah, so that's $900 for their stone tops here with Bunnings, but we'd probably use the local stone guy. So we'll take that out.
So a pretty good estimate, and I think what we'll do is we'll end up going up to Bunnings and actually just talking to them on the spot and say, hey, this is a plan we've got, and they'll look at it obviously with their expertise and be able to say, oh yeah, no, you need this bit, you need this bit, don't forget this bit. And it seemed to work pretty well when we put the kitchen in, so I'm assuming it will work well for the laundry.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. The next step we're going to do is make a list now of the steps in this renovation process. I already made a short one, and I think looking at this, we've got to get the electrical and the plumbing done first before we're going to start to pull things off walls and get rid of things.
Yeah.
We've also got to order things from Kaboodle, talk to the stone top guys, and then stay tuned for the next step where we'll actually show you the renovation step by step